central bank is the bank of the banks and the bank of the government. බැංකුවල බැංකුකරුවා. රජයේ බැංකුව. But it has to be independent. It has to be independent from pursuit of self-interest of politicians. It has to be independent. ස්වාධීන විය යුතුයි from pursuit of self-interest of politicians. දේශපාලඥයින්ගේ ස්වාර්ථය පසුපස යෑමෙන් නිදහස් විය යුතුයි. ස්වාධීන විය යුතුයි. Because it has wider objectives to fulfill. Wider. පුළුල් වඩා පුළුල් අරමුණු තියෙනවා ඉෂ්ට සිද්ධ කරගන්න. One is economic and price stability. The other one is financial system stability. ආර්ථික සහ මිල ස්ථායීතාවය. The other one financial system. मूल्य क्रमයේ ස්ථායීතාවය. So central bank has to be independent. Right. So our lesson is to identify monetary policy trends from 2017 to 2021. So this is the story in brief. In a graph we can see that from 2017 to 2021 these are the tools: standard rate corridor, average call money rate, and then statutory reserve ratio, and then bank rate. These are the tools. Can you remember once President was talking about tools? ජනාධිපතිතුමා කතා කරේ අර කෙසරක් tools ගැන. And these are the tools central bank uses. Right? Central bank එක පාවිච්චි කරන උපකරණ ටික මේවා තමයි. Standard rate corridor, average call money rate, statutory reserve ratio, bank rates. There are some other tools as well. I'm showing these things for the time being. මේ ටික මම ඔබට පෙන්වන්න. The most important thing is this red worm. මේ රතු පාට worm එක line එක තමයි අපිට average call money rate. Because that is the operating target of the central bank. Right? Operating target. මෙහෙයුම් ඉලක්කය ඒක තමයි. මේක තමයි වෙනස් කරන්නේ. By changing this average weighted call money rate, right? I will explain that. මම මේක පැහැදිලි කරන්නම්. Central bank tries to achieve the other objectives, final objectives. So then I am going to statistically prove it, right? But before going for that, let's identify what this monetary policy is. Let's identify what this monetary policy is. What is monetary policy? Monetary policy is the process by which a central bank manages the supply and cost of money. The supply and cost of money in an economy with a view to achieve the macroeconomic objective of price stability. Mainly the price stability. Right. That is the definition of monetary policy according to the central bank. Central bank එකට අනුව ඒක තමයි නිර්වචනය. Right. Let's analyze this definition. Monetary policy is the process. මූල්‍ය ප්‍රතිපත්ති අනුව ක්‍රියාවලිය. Right. Right. Then by which කියලා මේක පැහැදිලි කරනවා. මොන ක්‍රියාවලියද? A central bank manages the supply and the cost of money. Right? A central bank manages the supply and the cost of money. මහා බැංකුවක් මුදල් වල සැපයුම සහ පිරිවැය පාලනය කරන ක්‍රියාවලිය. ක්‍රියාවලිය කියන එක පැහැදිලි කරලා. The process by which a central bank manages the supply and the cost of money. මුදල් වල සැපයීම සහ පිරිවැය කළමනාකරණය කරන ක්‍රියාවලිය. Monetary policy is that process. With a view to, in an economy, yes, ආර්ථිකයක in an economy. With a view to, අරමුණ සහිතව, right? With a view to, අරමුණ සහිතව. With a view to achieve the macroeconomic objective of price stability. ආර්ථික ස්ථායීතාවය නැමැති macroeconomic objective. සාර්වාර්ථික අරමුණ ළඟා කර ගැනීමට, ඉෂ්ට සිද්ධ කර ගැනීමට to achieve. Right? That is the monetary policy. Then we have to identify the monetary operations. Monetary operations at present. Right? What happens? What is the definition there? The monetary operations of the central bank influences. Right? Monetary operations of the central bank influences the interest rates. The interest rates affecting the decisions of consumers and investors, right? Which finally ultimately affect the price stability. That is the definition of monetary operations. The monetary operations of the central bank influences interest rates in the economy, affecting the consumption and investment, and ultimately the rate of inflation. Right? Ultimately the rate of inflation. Let's analyze it. The monetary operations of the central bank influences. Influences the interest rates. Right? Interest rates. Central bank monetary operations right? In the economy, affecting the consumption, investment, and ultimately the rate of inflation. Affecting that phrase වාක්‍ය ඛණ්ඩයක්, right? බලපාමින් මොනවට බලපාම? affect බලපානවා. affecting බලපාමින් මොනවටද? පරිභෝජනය සහ ආයෝජනයට. And ultimately finally the rate of inflation. උද්ධමන අනුපාතයට බලපාමින්. Because price stability is about controlling the inflation. Right? උද්ධමනය පාලනය කිරීම තමයි price stability කියලා කියන්නේ. Now let's identify the present monetary policy framework. Let's identify අපි හඳුනගමු වර්තමාන මූල්‍ය ප්‍රතිපත්ති රාමුව, that is flexible inflation targeting. නම්‍යශීලී උද්ධමන ඉලක්කකරණය. Right? At present, central bank conducts its monetary policy in line with flexible inflation targeting framework, which is aimed at stabilizing inflation within mid-single digits level, while supporting the economic growth to reach its potential. That is what is meant by flexible inflation targeting framework. At present, the central bank conducts monetary policy in line with a flexible inflation targeting framework. Let's analyze this definition also. Let's analyze. අපි විශ්ලේෂණය කරමු. The central bank conducts monetary policy. මහා බැංකුව මූල්‍ය ප්‍රතිපත්ති ක්‍රියාවට නංවනවා. Right? At present, වර්තමානයේදී in line with the flexible inflation targeting framework. In line with, අනුරූපීව. ලස්සන preposition එක. Nice preposition. අනුරූපීව. In line with a flexible inflation targeting framework. නම්‍යශීලී උද්ධමන ඉලක්කරන රාමුවකට අනුරූපීව. Right? Then aimed at stabilizing inflation. උද්දමනය ස්ථායීකරණය කිරීම අරමුණු කරගෙන. උද්දමනය ස්ථායීකරණය කිරීම අරමුණු කරගෙන. Where at mid single digits level. At mid single digits level. මැද තනි ඉලක්කම් මට්ටමක. While supporting economic growth. ආර්ථික වර්ධනයට උදව් කරන අතරතුරේ. while අතරතුරේ. Right? With the operating target of average weighted call money rate. සාමාන්‍ය බර තබන ලබන ඒක්ෂණ මුදල් අනුපාතිකය වන මූල්‍ය ඉලක්කය සහිතව with operating target මෙහෙයුම් ඉලක්කය operating target. So what is operating target? Average weighted call money rate. I will explain that later. I will explain it. Right? Okay. Then let's add. Then the other tool, the most important tool like උපකරණය තමයි standing rate corridor එක. What is the most important tool used by the central bank to influence the interest rates of the country? රටෙහි පොලි අනුපාත වලට බලපෑම් කරන්න පාවිච්චි කරන tool එක තමයි standing rate corridor. Right? So what is standing rate corridor? It consists of two policy interest rates. ප්‍රතිපත්ති පොලි අනුපාතික දෙකකින් තමයි මේක සමන්විත වෙන්නේ. Consist of. Right? And it forms the path. It forms the path or the corridor for average weighted call money rate to move. Right? That is the standing rate corridor. What is standing rate corridor? Standing rate corridor which consists of standing lending facility rate. They are the policy interest rates. Right? ප්‍රතිපත්ති පොලි අනුපාතික දෙක ප්‍රධාන major. Bank rate is also a policy interest rate. These are the major ones. ප්‍රධාන ඒවා. Standing lending facility rate and standing deposit facility rate. And forms the lower and upper bound. Lower and upper bound. Corridor means that there's an upper bound and there's a lower bound. Right? For what? For average weighted call money rate. Let's analyze this definition as well nicely one by one. Standing rate corridor consists of standing lending facility rate and standing deposit facility rate. Standing lending facility rate නිත්‍ය ණය පහසුකම් අනුපාතිකය. That means that's the interest rate central bank charges when central bank lends money. When central bank lends money, this is the interest rate central bank charges. Central bank is ණය දෙන විට අය කරනු ලබන පොලි අනුපාතිකය. බැංකුවක් වගේම තමයි. ණය දෙනකොට එකක් අපේ ඩිපොසිට් ගන්නකොට තව එකක්. That's it. And the other one is standing deposit facility rate. නිත්‍ය තැන්පතු පහසුකම් අනුපාතිකය. So standing lending facility rate is higher. ණය දෙනකොට තියෙන එක higher. It is the upper bound therefore. Standing deposit facility rate is the lower bound in the standing rate corridor. Right? So standing rate corridor forms the lower and upper bounds. ඉහළ සීමාව සහ පහළ සීමාව තනනවා forms. For what? For average weighted call money rate. සාමාන්‍ය බර තබන ලද ඒක්ෂණ මූල්‍ය අනුපාතිකය. I will explain that. මම මේක පැහැදිලි කරන්නම්. Right? Okay. So then let's go for that average weighted call money rate. Average weighted call money rate. This call money rate is determined in the call money market. There's something called interbank call money market. අන්තර්බැංකු ක්ෂණික ඒක්ෂණ ණය වෙළඳපොළ. අන්තර්බැංකු ඒක්ෂණ ණය වෙළඳපොළ. I mean that is the market where commercial banks can fulfill their immediate liquidity requirement overnight. එක රැයකින් ක්ෂණික immediate liquidity requirements. ක්ෂණික ද්‍රවශීලතා අවශ්‍යතා. කියන්නේ cash. Liquidity means cash. ද්‍රවශීලතා cash. Cash අවස්ථා සපුර ගන්න That means interbank. Bank water. One bank calls another bank and acquires the funds at an interest rate. And A interest rate call money interest rate. And central bank calculates the average value because it can slightly fluctuate depending on the number of transactions. Number of transactions fluctuate when so central bank calculate average value. Average weighted value. Right? That is called average weighted call money rate. And this is the operating target. This is what central bank operates. Make a central bank operate to influence the other interest rates. And to influence the behavior of lenders, borrowers, and thereby consumers, investors, and so on. Right? Okay. So, what is the average weighted call money rate? The interest rate, which is determined based on the liquidity availability. Dravashilata Tina Pramani Anu Tirnevana interest rate in interbank call money market. Antarbanku action and the policy. Let's analyze this sentence too. The interest rate is determined. Tirne karna. It's a passive voice vakya. Poli anupatike tirne karna. Right? The interest rate is the average weighted call money rate. The interest rate is the average weighted call money rate. So make a which key making right? The interest rate, which is determined based on what is based on the liquidity availability. Dravashilata Tina Pramane Mata Padanam Vela Tamayaka Tirne. Translate Karga. Dravashilata in an interbank call money market. Antarbanku action island the poli. Antarbanku action island the poli. Dravashilata Tina Pramane Mata Padanami Tirne Karulabana interest rate take. Tamai call money interest average weighted call money rate right. So everything is ready now for us. We can analyze this graph and identify the monetary policy trend in brief. Right? You can see 2017 it was at its highest. This is a maximum level. Then after that, central bank follows a neutral monetary policy stance. Neutral. Neither tightening nor relaxing. Tighten karapu, we can sankochane karapu. Relax karapu, we can prasarane karapu mulapatipatyak nimi. Method in the Latino mulim. Right? Neutral monetary policy. After that, it adapts. After 2019, this is where the COVID-19 outbreak started. Right? As a result, the government wanted central banks to accommodate. So central bank after this adopted monetary relaxation or accommodative monetary policy stance. Or expansionary monetary policy. Prasaranaatmaka moola pratipatyak anugamane kare. As a result, this red worm, average weighted call money rate, has decreased to historical low level. Itihase aduma ekat langawala thiyena. In line with that, even the bank rates. Bank rate is a penalty rate. Eka danduwam poli anupataya. Mokakවත් කරගන්න බැරි වුණොත් sen බැංකුවකට it is 15%. And it has also decreased because of this situation, COVID-19 situation. And this is statutory reserve ratio. This green, orange line shows the statutory reserve ratio. Statutory, legal, statutory, niti mein, vyasthapi sanchitanupate. That is also a tool, right? That means banks have to keep certain percentage of their deposits as a cash deposit with the central bank again. Right? Bankuwala තියෙන මුදල් වලින් ප්‍රතිශතයක්. බැංකුවල තියෙන තැන්පතු වලින් ප්‍රතිශතයක් ඇත්තට. බැංකුවල තියෙන තැන්පතු වලින් ප්‍රතිශතයක් ලෙස cash deposit එකක් central bank එකේ තියාගන්න ඕනේ. ඒක අඩු වැඩි කිරීමෙනුත් බැංකුවල තියෙන අර ණය දීමේ හැකියාව පාලනය කරන්න පුළුවන්. Now let's analyze this with statistics. So on 24th March 2017, on 24th March 2017, central bank showed a red light. Right? This is the highest level of all these rates: standing lending facility rate, standing deposit facility rate, and thereby the average weighted call money rate and the statutory reserve ratio. Right? All these rates were at its highest. Then central bank wanted to adopt. යොදා ගන්න අවශ්‍ය වුණා. Right? What is that? A neutral monetary policy stance. Method neutral, neither tightening nor relaxing. ඒ කියන්නේ සංකෝචනාත්මකවත් ප්‍රසාරණාත්මකවත් මේ method. Right? So central bank reduced standing lending facility rate, right? While the standing deposit facility rate remained the same. Okay, and the other things remain the same. Anitwa ස්ථාවර තිබුණා. As a result, average responding to this reduction මේ අඩු කිරීමට respond කරමින් ප්‍රතිචාර දක්වමින් average weighted call money rate decreased. I told you this depends on liquidity availability. Liquidity තියෙන ප්‍රමාණය තමයි මේක තීරණය වෙන්නේ call money market එකේ. ඒතර මේක අඩු කරාම when central bank reduces standing lending facility rate, commercial banks borrow more. Right? Commercial banks borrow more. ණයට ගන්න වැඩිපුර. ඒතර liquidity ප්‍රමාණය වැඩි වෙනවා. So average weighted call money rate එක පල්ලෙහාට යනවා. That is the operating target of the central bank. Then as it fell drastically, it දරුණු ලෙස වැටිච්ච නිසා again, and central bank wanted to have neutral monetary policy stance, right? So again, central bank increased standing lending facility rate and standing deposit facility both of these policy interest rates were increased, and at the same time, statutory reserve ratio was decreased, right? Then you can see that is neutralization. එකකින් ප්‍රසාරණය කරනවා අනිත් එකකින් සංකෝචනය කරනවා. method එක තියාගන්න. As a result, call money rate again increased up to 8.95. You can see it responds depending on the liquidity availability, which are based on the change in policy interest rates. Policy interest rates are වෙනස් වීම අනුව liquidity ප්‍රමාණය වෙනස් වෙනවා. Right? Because it affects the decisions of the commercial banks. Right? Okay. Then again, this is when COVID-19 outbreak started in Sri Lanka. COVID-19 ප්‍රශ්නය ඇතිවෙන්නේ මෙන්න මෙතන. Then the government wanted central bank to accommodate that. Okay, so then green light. Central bank reduced all these policy interest rates. All these two policy interest rates. Central bank reduced adukara. Right? As a result, average weighted call money rate decreased. Right? Then again, now there was a situation in the country because aggregate demand has decreased. සමහර වියදම අඩු වෙලා තිබුණේ. ආර්ථිකය recession එක අවපාදනය කඩාවැටීමක නැත්නම් සත්‍ය නිමවුම අඩු මට්ටමක තිබුණේ. It is going to cause unemployment. It was going to cause unemployment. Unemployment එක ඇති වෙන්න ඒක උදව් කරමින් සිටී. So government wanted to stimulate the economy. ආර්ථික උත්තේජනය කිරීමට රජයට අවශ්‍ය වුණා. Stimulate උත්තේජනය කිරීම. So that's when Gotabaya Rajapaksa asked, use your tools and support the economy. Right? Okay. Then yes, standing lending facility, standing both were reduced. Again reduced in on 30th April 2020. Right? then another reduction after 3 months, right? Another reduction after 1 month. Okay, alright. So responding to these reductions, and even statutory reserve ratio was reduced from 5% to 4% on 17th March 2020. Okay, and even bank rate, which is the penalty rate, daduwa manupaathayak වන එකත් ඒකත් අඩු කරා. Bank rate was also reduced 500 basis point. That means 5% from 15 to 10%. You can see there was a reduction in all these rates by 16/4/2020. Okay, that is to stimulate the economy. ආර්ථිකය උත්තේජනය කිරීමට, මුදල් ප්‍රසාරණය කිරීමට, මුදල් සැපයීම ප්‍රසාරණය කිරීමට. Right? Okay. Then again 6 May 2020, again all these were reduced. Statutory reserve ratio remained the same, but standing lending facility rate, standing deposit facility rate, bank rates, they all were reduced. Right? Then again after 2 months, on 16th May 2020, statutory reserve ratio was also decreased up to a historical low level. 2%. Right? That means the central bank is signaling, use all your money to lend. තියාගන්න ඕනේ නැහැ, ඔක්කොම ටික දීලා දාන්න. Right? කියන අදහස තමයි මේකේ තියෙන්නේ. Then commercial bank expand credit, which expands money supply. That is the purpose. Then this is the ultimate. මේ තමයි යන්න පුළුවන් උපරිම. Right? Even though government wants, this has been happening how many years? For how long? For about 1 year. This has been there for 1 year. So lots of money is pumped into the economy as a result. Money supply increases. I told you, it is a double-edged weapon. But if it goes beyond the level, it will cause increase in general price level, which is known as inflation. Then it will affect the price stability. Price stability එකට බලපාන. But government didn't want this. රජයට මේක අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. Right? But government did not want this. That's why I think central bank governor had to resign, because central bank professionals, they are not politicians now. They have to support the economy. They have a responsibility. Finally, politicians will blame them as well. So that's why they shot this red light. But government still wants more expansion, because government is also helpless. Fiscal operation is at a very weak situation. Fiscal operation, budget policy, that is the problem. Okay, I guess that is the reason. Because central bank cannot any longer bear this, tolerate this. So that's why they have shown the red line. But I don't know. He resigned. I guess this is the reason. So thank you very much for watching my videos. Keep watching. This is the ideal way to learn English, right, and know the economy. So please subscribe my YouTube channel. Thank you very much.